finally, the first official trailer for James Gunn's new DC Universe's first movie, Superman, has been released. This movie is the first live-action movie, but it is James Gunn's second project in this universe. His first project is the newly released Creature Commandos animated series. This series by James Gunn has had a successful debut, and I hope he continues this success with the Superman movie. And there will definitely be characters from the animated series in this movie, and we will see many other characters. I must say that the trailer impressed me deeply. This trailer brings a modern touch to the Superman character, while also promising great hopes for the future of the DC Universe. But what awaits us in this new movie? Don't worry, in this video we will examine the trailer in detail and share our theories. But before moving on to the video, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to be informed about other videos. The trailer opens with Superman performing his superhero landing. Here we see Superman crashing hard into a snowy area from the sky. In the rest of the scene, we see Superman covered in blood and exhausted. This frame brings to mind the question of why Superman is covered in blood. We know that only someone as strong as Superman can make him bleed. So who is as powerful as him? A Superman clone developed by Lex Luthor. He is an exact clone of Superman. In other words, they have the same powers. Thanks to this, Superman will technically fight himself, just like Wolverine fighting his own clone in the movie Logan. In the next frame of the trailer, we see Clark Kent as a civilian. Frankly, I think there is a clear difference between his Superman identity and his civilian appearance. They have reflected the pure form of the character very well in this scene. We see him rushing into the Daily Planet building. And if we look closely at this scene, we see Gorilla Grodd's picture on the newspaper the policeman is holding. We saw him in the 4th episode of the Creature Commandos animated series. The animated series is also set in the new universe, so we will probably see the Gorilla Grodd in the movie. We continue the trailer with the scene where Clark is talking on the phone inside the Daily Planet. In this scene, his hunched appearance wearing loose clothes that we are familiar with from the comics is very well reflected. It was also very well reflected in the 1978 Superman the movie. The man standing next to Clark in this frame is Steve Lombard. Steve is a character known for frequently flirting with Lois Lane. Right after, we see Lois Lane herself, and we see GBS News on the TV behind her. We also see this news channel frequently in the Creature Commandos animation. We continue the scene with Clark's timid walk as he passes Lois. Clark's shy reflection signals that we will be watching a Superman faithful to the comics. Right after that, we are greeted by a text from the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. As you know, James Gunn directed these movies, and it was nice that they mentioned this in the trailer. In the next frame, we see the Kent farm. Right in front of it, we see Clark sitting alone. Then we see him talking to his father Jonathan Kent, and as if he is supporting him in a bad moment. I think Clark's mother will die in this movie compared to other movies, so that might be the case. As you know, we always saw Clark's father die classically. I think they may have made a change in this movie. In this way, both Bruce and Clark's mothers will die, and unfortunately, we will not be able to watch such a scene like this.
Save Martha!
Why did you say that name?
Speaking of Batman, there are rumors that James Gunn wants to merge the DCU with Matt Reeves' Batman universe and include Robert Pattinson in the new universe. When James Gunn announced that the DC universe would be remade on the big screen, one of the first questions that came to everyone's mind was who would play Batman. While many names from Jensen Ackles to John Hamm were mentioned in the rumors, all eyes were on Robert Pattinson, who played the character so successfully in Matt Reeves' The Batman movie. Now the rumor has grown even more. Let's see what happens. Who would you prefer for Batman? Don't forget to share your ideas with us. Anyway, we continue the scene with Superman whistling and calling Krypto. Krypto quickly comes to him and Clark extends his cape saying, "Take me home." This dog we call Krypto is Kryptonian, so his features are similar to Superman's. He is a dog sent to the world as a prototype by Clark's real family. Krypton's senses are so heightened that he hears Superman whistling and rushes to help. Here we see Superman saving a girl from an attack by baby kaiju. In the background of this scene, there is a reference to the Metropolis Meteors baseball team in the comics. In the next scene, we see Lex Luthor played by Nicholas Hoult. He played the character Beast in Marvel's X-Men movies. In fact, he auditioned for the role of Superman in this movie, but he did not get the role and became Lex Luthor, Superman's archenemy. In the next scene, we see James Gunn changing the name of the company LexCorp, which we see in many classic Superman stories, to Luthor Corp. This is a reference to the Smallville series, which told the Superman story in depth in the early 2000s. Here the company's name is called Luthor Corp. Let's go back to this scene, and if we look carefully, we see the engineer a member of the Authority. James Gunn had announced the Authority movie, but there is no development so far. In fact, there are rumors that this live-action movie is being turned into an animated movie. In the following scene, we see Lex Luthor with a gun in his hand. This scene gives off a Hitman vibe. In the next scene, we see Superman breaking a window as if he is struggling. From what we understand, this place looks like a prison. As we can see from the leaked set photos, Superman is being held captive by Ultraman with his hands tied behind his back. In this scene, he tries to escape, and we see him breaking the glass with difficulty. I think there is something affecting Superman's strength, but we see him breaking the glass with the help of other prisoners. And I think there will be a fight between him and Ultraman when he escapes in this scene, and as we saw at the beginning of the trailer, he will fly and crash into the snowy area. In this scene, we see people running away from terrorist bombs in Barovia, a fictional country in the comics. And a child raises a flag with Superman's logo on it and calls out to Superman. And just like the Afghanistan scene in the Iron Man movie, Superman will intervene here. Then we see the scene where the people react and hate Superman, and even one person throws a plastic cup at him, and he just walks by without paying any attention to any of it. I think Homelander would do the same thing, right? I think the reason for this scene is Lex Luthor. After putting Superman in prison, he will use Ultraman to commit a lot of crimes. Although Ultraman wears a mask in the trailer, their faces are similar to his powers. That's why people will think that all the crimes are committed by Superman, and they will hate him. Then Superman enters the Stag industry. The owner of this company is Simon Stagg, a very important evil character of the DC universe. Right after that, we see Guy Gardner, one of the most foul-mouthed Green Lanterns. He is exactly like the one in the comics. Next to him, we see Hawkgirl, and we see that both of them are wearing the Lord Tech costume. You know Maxwell Lord in the Wonder Woman 1984 movie. We will see a company that belongs to him, and these characters will work for this company. However, the members of the team are not limited to these two. We see Mr. Terrific later in the trailer. He is known as an extremely intelligent inventor. He is also wearing the Lord Tech costume, and we see him saving Lois Lane in this scene. In the rest of the scene, Baby Kaiju breathes fire at Superman. Here we see Hawkgirl intervening with Baby Kaiju. As we approach the end of the trailer, we see a giant sphere in the city. I think it's Brainiac, but it may not be. Because I don't expect James Gunn to use such a powerful character in the movie when there are so many villains in the movie. But if they did, I think they'll show it at the end of the movie and end the movie. Anyway, if we look at the next scene, we see Superman's Fortress of Solitude, and we see him holding his assistant robot on the ground. This was the place Superman used to hide in the world and sometimes get ideas. The robot on the ground is one of the last things left for Clark from Krypton. This robot helps Clark learn about Krypton and use his powers. In this scene, it seems that someone destroyed the robot, and Clark is sad. In the next scene, we see Metamorpho clearly. He can transform his body into any element he wants. The man who made Metamorpho this way was Simon Stagg, the owner of Stagg Industries. Then we see Superman pushing Baby Kaiju. Right after that, we see the iconic scene where Superman kisses Lois. Then we see Superman flying as John Williams' Superman theme music, which we heard throughout the teaser rises. And the trailer ends with Clark and Lois hugging. The film will be released on July 11, 2025. We finally entered the new DC universe. Actually, as I said, the first project is the Creature Commandos animated series, and I definitely recommend you to watch it. We will see a lot of characters from that. Frankly, I really liked the trailer. They showed a lot of characters as I did not expect. Many of you said that the lower part of Superman's costume was bad. Actually, I think it is bad, but Superman will not always wear this costume. He has many costumes like in the comics, and we will see him in different costumes in the upcoming movies. That's all I had to say. What do you think? Don't forget to leave your theories about the movie in the comments. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to be informed about other videos. See you in the next video.